That's
All
a
right.
good classification system.
Yeah. I am going to share the screen and we will do the forecast now.
People were out today, apparently.
Yeah, there was surf today. I was on T-Rock duty, so well, let's look at the winds. That's what I just went to, right? All right, so we have, I guess, light offshore. It didn't look offshore on the cams when I last, oh, that's tomorrow morning anyway. So moderate offshore winds throughout the day tomorrow. So we're checking the buoys for that mid-morning high tide with the small low period swell is tricky. Then Saturday morning, light offshore winds till midday. Also, maybe something super early. Check the buoys kind of day. We'll look at the swell models, but those are nice winds. Decent winds again for Sunday's watch. The northeast can be tricky. It's worth watching though. Looks like it gets light in the middle of the day. The higher tide will move to then. Then Monday, relatively light winds. We haven't looked at any swell models. Relatively light winds again. Tuesday, relatively light side shore. Wednesday, and then Thursday looks pretty similar on the wind forecast. Very springtime, light winds, kind of variable directions. Wind finder. Right, getting in the habit of the blobs here. So this is what people were surfing today, this leftover scattered kind of system, not very big, very low interval, very weak were the reports that I got, what waves there were. Okay, tonight. And then we start to have this flow, that northwest flow that kicks in that we saw in the wind reports. And this tiny little dispersed system is going to be fighting against that. So not really boding well for leftovers tomorrow, but the ocean is strange. Lots is possible. Looking pretty, this is Saturday. It's looking pretty bleak for the weekend. Looks like there's this system off of Carolina that is very weird. It's like it's staying there. Maybe it'll radiate, swell up. Let's see what it does here. It moves into our swell window. It's worth watching. It's a very weird system. Just because of the nature of all of the energy moving this way, but like it being in the swell window, that's really bizarre. Don't even feel like I've seen a blob with this kind of activity before. So I won't be in town Sunday and Monday, but I'll be curious I'll look at the cams still. It's me and Sophia's 10-year anniversary of being together.
Yeah, congratulations.
So we're gonna go upstate to a fancy hotel resort thingy that one of my clients has been working on for, feels like a couple of years now, maybe 2 years. So then it moves out to sea. What is just such a weird shape because it's so like square and it's like oblong. It's a very weird shape for a system. And then it develops this ridge that splits it and it still kind of hangs out down here, but all the movement again is down. So just to say, very weird. And I really don't think I've seen anything like this before. And I can't say how it's going to react at all whatsoever. But in general, it's not moving towards us. So it's definitely going to be a watch the buoys kind of thing. I very, very, very curious. And, somebody did say, which is probably the case, And go back to, let's see. Well, I don't even know in that case, it's still pretty far away from them, but somebody, it could be good for like the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico and stuff like that. Like more definitively good for, and maybe these parts of Florida, I would say. You do a surgical strike to Florida again, Raj.
Yeah.
Very weird system though. Haven't read how Magic Seaweed actually merging with Surfline affects either of the websites.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, they've merged, whatever that, again, like, I don't know what that means necessarily. Because I didn't do my research, but let's just check the Rockaways right now. Wind is offshore, it's looking pretty small, and let's see what they're saying. I mean, it's still so confusing with like all of this up here. I think you basically just need to look at these, like, it is just, and now they've changed all the coloring.
They changed all the colors, yeah. And I noticed there was a new cam.
There are a couple new cams. So Sunday, they say similar surfing conditions to Saturday with small east-southeast swell in the water. Another day with small scale east-southeast swell in the water. A few rideable waves at better spots, but lully and low overall. Watching potential northwest Atlantic low pressure for surf chances. Small but rideable on Tuesday. Another day with surf in the water. Mix of southeast swell. So they're saying there's surf in the water at like 1.9 feet at 10 seconds. Forecasted. We already looked at the winds. I don't know. It's looking pretty iffy to me. It's a check the buoys and check that blob. The blob is very weird. I've really never seen anything like it, but definitely worth continuing to look at. And we check the tides. So yeah, we have this mid-morning high tide, which if it stays small, the low tide's been like too low. And the mid tide is still the call with the way the sandbars are. Although the high tide has been surfable, and Noelle and I surfed at high tide the other day, and it was good for beginners, nice and soft. So but that was the biggest day of the week, Tuesday. And that was like 4 feet at 6 seconds. The waves were like waist to chest high and very, very soft and weak. But by the time our session was ending, it started getting dumpier with the lower tide.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look at yeah, that's it. It's not the greatest, but also could be some okay waves for like dominating small waves and not going to be crowded. So really worth keeping the eyes on the buoys, because if you get that like 2 feet at 10 seconds, or even 2 feet at 8 seconds, or 4 feet at 6 seconds, or even 3 feet at 6 seconds, which it was today, it's really weak, but it is surfable. So it's worth keeping your eyes on for sure. And like I said, I'm gonna be out of town Sunday and Monday, and I come back on Tuesday morning. And I'm not sure what it is going to do. It's going to be a look at the buoys even tomorrow. Cassandra and I are on for a surf check. She always shows up in her wetsuit, but that's her problem if there aren't any waves. Fine.